Hey, I said I was gonna read the book once I've typed a lot of it up. Yeah, I have it typed up on here. Be a little patient. Here, I'll even pause it till I get to the thing. Okay. So it took me a long while to get this typed up. But it's only chapter 1. God, I wish I had my reading glasses. But this will have to do. Chapter 1. To begin. Long after anything in today's time, a massive machine that can make imagination into reality was created. Along with a scientist, Dr. Bright, who had lost his son William Bright to a horrible experiment in which had been his attempt to give his son regeneration like a plant does. The experiment was so horrid that instead of providing regeneration, it mutated and formed William into a disgusting, atrocious abomination. A kaiju of sorts. Dr. Bright beforehand had volunteered his son to be a test subject, believing his calculations and intelligence to be perfect and flawless, as well as wanting his son to be the first superhuman. The experiment worked flawlessly on other subjects, such as plants or animals like pigs or sheep. When Dr. Bright put William into the test machine, the formula was off. Instead of adding attributes like he wanted, a healing factor, it fused and molded the two together, creating something inhuman and grim. The reason William had mutated in such a way was because the human soul was unstable and refused to work with a stable body. So in turn, the reaction was to turn the vessel into a similar state, unstable, which as a result was the Apple Kaiju as Dr. Bright calls it now. Dr. Bright can not just let this abomination, source of guilt, run rampant, so he contained it inside a chamber. But that will only last around 10 to 20 days, roughly. But Dr. Bright decided more than just himself. He needed more than just himself to handle his monster. He wanted his son back, to right his wrongs. So he goes to the one man he knows he can rely on, and always does. A man by the name of Dr. Hartwell. Dr. Hartwell had committed a similar mistake, except for Dr. Hartwell knew that playing with Gen X was never a good idea, and never ended well. Currently, Dr. Hartwell was working on an experiment to stop world hunger by growing fruits and the foods to be larger and more nutritious. All of a sudden, Dr. Bright bursts into the lab, and before Hartwell can even speak, he yells, "Before you say anything, I need your help, please." And in response, Dr. Hartwell rubs his temples, sighs, and speaks calmly, but annoyed at Dr. Bright's actions. "As long as you can pay for that door, speak your piece," whilst closing his notes and making space for Bright to take a seat. Bright takes a seat, begins explaining his situation with a solemn yet somewhat apologetic look. "Listen, I royally screwed up this time," a hint of regret in his tone and voice. "And now I'm inclined to ask why, Bright," Hartwell says, peeved and exasperated of Dr. Bright's antics, massaging the space between his eyebrows in a futile attempt to soothe and prepare himself for whatever Dr. Bright had done now. Bright, before speaking, fidgets his hands like a child who had gone stealing candy. "You remember my son, William?" In response, Hartwell is thrown through a loop and leans in, his arms in his lap and his fingers intertwined. "What did you do, Bright?" Dr. Bright quickly responds, blurting out, "I swear it was an accident," which only provokes Hartwell to press him further. "You best fess up, now." That was taken as a signal Dr. Bright to hurry up his confession. "I turned my son into some kind of apple monster. I need your help turning him back." Responding with vigor and a hint of anger. "What?" he says with incredible decibels and causing Dr. Bright to flinch back in primal instinct to the sudden rise in sound. Wait, let me explain." Dr. Bright responds, clearly trying to calm Hartwell down enough for him to at least stop screaming. Hartwell takes a deep breath, combing his hair back sloppily with his hands. Finally, he speaks through a breath, and even more peeved than before. Fine. Make it quick. I'm sorry? That is around all I wrote. I'll come back later.